and I snapped my head. But I took off, made the drop. I was on the foam ball, and as I was pumping on the foam ball, the wave turned a corner. So I just got catapulted on the foam ball, thrown out head first. And as soon as my head landed, the lip hit the back of my neck and just drove me straight in the reef like instantly. And it was only like 2 foot deep. It was low tide, and it was just like bang. And I was like, oh no. I got a bit on here. I had like 25 stitches here, 5 stitches here, and I just went, I knew the session was over, and I just paddled back. Get myself back. I must have got this anyway, so I went back and got on the pontoon and just started pouring bottled water over my head. I'd actually like fractured my skull, but it was actually bits of coral coming out of my head, and then pulling bits of coral out with tweezers, and then got a toothbrush for an hour and just was scrubbing it.
What, scrubbing it all this peroxide or iodine or something?
Yeah, with light alcohol. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Welcome back, or welcome to the Surf Mastery Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Frampton, and the ethos of this show is education and inspiration for better surfing and a better surfing life. And Matt Grainger, today's guest, not only was a huge part in the inspiration for the birth of this show, but he epitomizes that ethos as well. He is in his mid-50s now, and he's still out there surfing a ton and stays fit and healthy for surfing, and also teaches others to be better surfers and better people through better surfing, mindset, health and fitness, etc. Matt is just a pure inspiration in the surfing world, and just an absolute frother and he rips. He's an incredible surfer. And I'm stoked to get him back on the show. And like I said, he first appeared back in episode number 1. This will be his 4th appearance. He also appeared in episode 30 and episode 55 as well. And without further ado, I shall fade in my 4th conversation on this podcast with Matt Grainger from a Manly Surf School. So how are you?
Great, mate. Yeah. Just did a trip to Indo, which was nice.
Yeah. The head looks like it's all healed up.
And the head, good. Look at that. I'm a good healer.
Can't even tell.
Good job.
Yeah.
It's an improvement. Yeah, she gave me a facelift while she did it.
Oh, sweet.
In the Macaronis.
Is that your worst injury out there?
Yeah, definitely. I've never hit my head ever in any reefs in Indo or anywhere. I've obviously had bullets in the head. Some good cuts in the eyes, always the right eye. Must be the way I turn my head. Just haven't had time to put the hands up. Funny, I learned to surf, I always tell people to put your hands up. Done it successfully a few times, but sometimes it's got through. A lot of fins in the back of the head. But yeah, never hitting the head on the bottom of the reef. Heard the reef crack under my head was gnarly. As I got smashed, just instant, just heard this, and I just bang, and I just heard the reef just snap in my head, just heard this crack. And I was like, oh, when you say stuff to you, I went, oh, that's not good. And then I popped up, and then another wave hit that, and it was burst a blood vessel in the top of my head, so there was heaps of blood. So I couldn't see out of my left eye, and I felt that I hit my nose as well. And I said to one of the Indo guys, Wei, he's one of the managers of Macca's Resort, I said, have I still got my left eye and my nose? And he goes, yep. And I said, oh, we're good to go there.
How did it happen? Was it just a freak random thing, or was it a lapse in concentration, or what?
Yeah, it was a bit of the ego took over. Every day was the best day ever. We had the first swell in June, and this one day, just got bigger and bigger, and it had a lot of south in it. There was 2 swells. It was like a south swell and a bit of southwest as well. So you could get a chip in. You could chip in from behind the tower, and you could backdoor where you'd usually take off, so you get more barrel time. And I was riding this Magic 6.0 CI Pro 1 that I've had for about a year. Felt unreal under the feet. Been riding it 4 days straight. And then this guy Sean came out from South Africa. He rocked up on a boat. Him and I started paddling up the reef and just trading wave after wave and making them. So we're just making these unbelievable tubes, and no one came up there because it was pretty gnarly. So if you fell, it was like 2 foot deep, and it was like an 8 foot swell. So when Macca's probably 8 to 10, you probably saw footage of Nathan Florence. I don't know if you saw some of the footage of him in HTs. It was like 10 to 12 foot HTs that day. Whereas Macca's doesn't get bigger, it just gets thicker. So it's probably 6 to 8 foot, but really thick, like a chope's kind of a wave.
Mm.
You get this drop, you can make this really nice drop and then come in with speed. And just if you made it, you're fine. But if you didn't make it, that's what happened. So after 5 hours, I actually wasn't even tired. It was after like 5 hours, I was just getting cocky. And I probably should have gone in. It was more like one more. And Sean and I were trying to outdo each other. And he actually snapped his board on his last wave, and I snapped my head. But I took off, made the drop. I was on the foam ball. As I was pumping on the foam ball, the wave turned a corner. So kind of that southwest angle of the wave. So it turned a massive corner. So I just got catapulted on the foam ball, and I got thrown out head first. And as soon as my head landed, the lip hit the back of my neck and just drove me straight in the reef like instantly. It was only like 2 foot deep. It was low tide. And it was just like, bang. I was like, oh no, I got a bit on here. And then I went into warrior mode. You know, when I'd said, asked the Wayway if my eye's okay, I actually got a cut there as well. So I got a cut. I got cut either side. I got cuts either side of the nose, down here on the bottom of the nose as well, on this eye. And obviously here, I had like 25 stitches here, 5 stitches here. And I just went, I knew the session was over. And I just paddled back. Everyone's like, oh, get a boat. Everyone's screaming, get a boat. Matt's hurt. And I'm like, I'm good. Get myself back on my own, you know. Like one guy goes, yeah, good on you. This guy, Hans from America, he goes, good on you, tough guy. I'm like, no, I've got this anyway. So I went back and got on the pontoon and just started pouring bottled water over my head. And then got the boat back to Macca's and then looked for Shaz, and she was already stitching up my brother. He had a little cut on his back. And then someone said, oh, Matt's looking for you, and cut his head. And she thought, oh, if he's asking for something, he's in a bad way. So then she saw my head and she thought I'd actually like fractured my skull, but it was actually bits of coral coming out of my head.
Oh, far out.
So she pulled the bits of coral out. She got some local, which was good. We'll just put it in the cuts, and then pulling bits of coral out with tweezers, and then got a toothbrush for an hour and just was scrubbing it. That was the gnarly part. I just had to
scrubbing it all this peroxide or iodine or something.
Yeah, with light alcohol. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just so you don't kill the flesh too much, like not too gnarly. But just getting it all out, and I reckon that saved me for sure. Then obviously took about 2 hours to stitch up, which was gnarly. And I was just doing I've been doing a lot of breath training, like coaching apnea training, and I saw resonance breathing, which is like a 4-second inhale, 6-second exhale.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going into that, and that helped big time. So it was like a 3-hour ordeal, which could have been felt like a long time, but it wasn't as long as I thought. And then she put like a face mask over me so I couldn't see. And then, the rest is history. And then I surfed the next day.
You did not.
Yeah. I know. She taped it up. I just said, I'll get one wave. I get one wave. And I did some tests, like I was jumping on one leg, see if I had concussion. And then, oh no, I'm not well in the head anyway. And then I wore a helmet, of course, and then I didn't surf after that day. I didn't surf for 3.5 days, and then after that I was good to go. So I was having 4 courses of antibiotic, 4 tablets of antibiotics every day, washing it with fresh water. She was breaking up antibiotics and putting inside the cut as well.
Yeah,
and she left a little bit of one of the gnarly cuts. Didn't do it too tight, so bits of coral would still come out if it did. There's still little bits popping out.
Far out.
So yeah, so I'm wearing a helmet from now on when it's gnarly like that. So I went to G-Land after that. We had another swell at Macca's and surf Greenbush. So I had one of those soft shell helmets that Tommy Carroll's got wears.
Yeah.
By DMC. It's like a rugby helmet.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're nice and light, but they're so I wore that. That felt good. And then I wore it in G-Land every surf, even because I didn't want to get hit and break the cuts open anymore.
Yeah.
I got the stitches out after 6 days. And yeah, healed well. Yeah, stoked.
Wow.
But from now on, I'm going to be, if it's gnarly and low tide and heavy, I'll be wearing a helmet.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
But I was lucky I didn't get concussion and brain damage or lose an eye or a nose or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, and any sort of coral cut infection is such a huge risk, right?
I reckon, like, even there was actually a girl out in the water. Her name's Kat. She does events every year for about 6 months with Hans, her partner. And they had a longboat with a solar panel on top and just go around the islands. And she had a cut on her foot. She went to Sika Cup and just had a shower. But she told me this story like a week before. Then she got this flesh-eating microbe in her foot, and she basically went delirious and had to go to. She went to Padang, and their hospital was too dirty and gnarly, so Hans got her out of there, carried her onto the fast ferry, then went to Jakarta, and she had like 3 skin grafts, and then back to LA. Yeah, just from that. So that straight away, I was like, I'm not getting my head touching any shower water. So I was just, it sounds very first world, but I was just, every time I wash my head, it was just with bottled water.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good tip for people out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look after your cuts. Yeah, I always look after my cuts, even feet, you know. I went to Chopu. First time I went to Chopu in 2000, I got tiny little cuts on my feet, and it was the last day. And I was like, last day, who cares? And then I got home, and I got staph. I couldn't walk.
Ugh.
I went to my glands, and straight away I was on antibiotics and prednisone, and it went away, but that was nasty. So that taught me a good lesson. Yeah, so get onto your reef cuts quickly, people, when you go to the tropics.
Yeah, you got to clean them, eh? Oh, I remember I touched the reef in Arugan Bay in Sri Lanka once, like just got this tiny little graze, thought nothing of it, just put like a little bit of iodine cream on it. That's all I did. And then 2 days later, it's this like 50-cent welt that's throbbing. And had to get some antibiotics, so should have just scrubbed it out with a toothbrush and done the right thing at the time. But it was just such a small cut, you thought nothing of it, but there must have just been little bits of coral in there or something.
Yeah, that was like the ones on the feet of Chopes, tiny little nicks. Yeah, so to get so the tip from Shaz, Dr. Shaz, my partner, always have like a spare toothbrush that's clean. You can even get it if you get it from the hotel. But you never brush your teeth with it. That's totally clean. And just scrub it. Use the little wipes, the iodine alcohol wipes. So you do one-offs. Nothing else dirty. And then just keep checking it. Yeah. And there's that Tao gin that's pretty good from Indo. You know, that Chinese, that red bottle. That's always cool. The Chinese, it's called Tao gin. Or they don't use cream, she said, because it just festers in the tropics. Use the powder, the EVP powder. Yeah. The powders are the go. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the go. And then cover them up. Yeah. If you do your feet too, I always wear shoes. People give me heaps of crap in Indo because I'm always wearing, if I've got cuts, I'll put shoes on because you're walking around and get dirt in the cut. Yeah. So it's important. We always forget. Especially, you're like, oh, no, I'll be right. Or, you see so many guys just get smashed and don't even do anything. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's not worth the risk. So you're still out catching heaps of waves?
Yeah, still surfing a lot. Pretty much surf every day, sometimes twice. Got the gym, surface gym, which is good. That keeps me fit and healthy. Working on the mobility that you told me years ago. And, yeah, just building on that. I think that's a big key, is mobility as we get older. And even the younger athletes that we coach too, I've got some pros that train at our gym and we've got them on a mobility program where it's strength training. And I've found lately, like in the last few years, like having the mobility and also the strength training is huge, just for reducing injury, keeping strong. Like I'm 55 this month. And don't even talk about your age too. It's really important what you say out of your mouth. You know, there's that quote by Bruce Lee is like, be careful what you say with your words, because that's why it's called spells and spelling. Like you're saying, you hear heaps of guys walk around and go, oh, I'm done, I'm old, I'm an old man and all this. And you're like, hey, mate, like, no, it's all relative. Like we don't, what is time really anyway? Like just this thing we've made up. But, there's biological age, and if you keep yourself fit and healthy and moving and eat well, sleep well, you can keep rocking till you're in your 80s, I reckon.
Yeah, man. Oh, I was just listening to a book actually about all of that, and this Harvard professor did an experiment where she got a bunch of 80-year-old men and she put them in a house where everything in the house was as if it was 30 years ago, and they were only allowed, so the TV programs, the books, the furniture, and they were only allowed to talk about things as if it was 30 years ago, like in the present. And within a few days, their eyesight improved, health, like blood pressure improved, everything, just like placebo, like extreme placebo effect.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I've got to get that book.
It's a rad book. I'll forward it to you, and I'll put it in the show notes for listeners too. I think it's called The Mind-Body Connection or something. I'll put it in the show notes and I'll send it to you.
And even when I was at, not trying to name drop here, but when I was at Nazare, I towed Laird back to the harbour because he broke down. It's quite funny. Like, it was a big day, like 60-foot perfect Nazare. And I was with Lucas Pedera, who's from Mavericks, who trains with Laird. He was towing with me we're just shifting partners all day. And then I said, your mate Laird, like I didn't know Laird anyway from then. And I said, your mate Laird's out to sea doing nothing. We should go check on him. And he's like, yeah, right. So we hammered out for Laird. And he goes, yeah, I ran out of fuel, guys. And you're like, why? And he goes, I was having too much fun. Every time the beeper light came on, the warning signal that was low on fuel, I just turned it off. And because it was a really good day. And it was a really good Nazare, like clean 60-foot basin and whatnot. Anyway, so we hooked up my ski to his ski and towed him back to the harbour. And we got back to the wharf, and I was just chatting to him about how we've got a gym, and I've been following what he does, like XPT programs, and I do a lot of his breath work. I really like Laird's breath work, and I said, we don't talk about age, in our gym. He goes, what? You said the word. Don't you ever say that word in front of me again? And he got really gnarly. And I was like, okay, man, settle down. And so there's a lot of truth to it, eh? And like Shaz's, she's my wife, she's over 60, and she's getting better because she only started 20 years ago. And there's guys at the beaches that used to rip when they were 20, and they've given up at 50, or probably given up at 50, because it's in their mindset, my knees and stuff and my back stuff. And you're like, well, what do you do about it? Do you do any mobility, or, what are you eating? How are you sleeping? Like, they're like, I don't know. You're just like, oh, okay. So yeah, it's funny, isn't it? And I think we're lucky our age, like we've been introduced to a lot of stuff. And if you're curious about it, which you are and I am, there's so much stuff you can learn going down those rabbit holes.
Oh yeah, it's never ending.
Kind of the crew 10 years before us, probably a lot of them missed out on that, eating poor food, poor movement. Yeah, it's good. I've got the Whoop. I've had the Whoop for like probably 5 years now. I find that's really good because I'm really diligent about my sleep. It can be gnarly some days when it gives you a bad sleep score. You got to kind of let that go and not even your day's ruined, because I know some athletes who will like that. They're like, I had to get rid of it because it said I had a bad sleep score and I'd have a bad day. I'm like, no, you got to get past that. But sleep's huge, hey? Like, and probably read that book by Matthew Walker. That was, if everyone knew how important sleep was, would cure cancer and all sorts of ailments. Yeah. So, so I try to have a little nap in the arvo if I get time.
Yep.
Try to have my nap every arvo, and I think it's good too having a nap if I have the luxury, because you're just not talking, you're not thinking, you're just having a little break from the world, and then back into it, have a training session at the gym with the crew, and then dinner and bed again. So that's my little routine.
Yeah.
And not used to have to always wake up super early, sort of plan that I ought to be up early and out there for stuff. But if the waves aren't that good, I'm not going to get up early just to punish myself for the early, just for the sake of being the first guy out there. So now, because I've found on your sleep scores, when you do actually sleep that extra hour in the morning, you get a lot of benefits. It's crazy if you do go to bed early. Yeah.
Mm. Is surfing the main motivator for you to stay fit and healthy?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I couldn't give a stuff like what I look like. I just want to actually be able to catch waves and still be able to surf. My brother and I just went to Macaronis together, and we were both chatting that we probably surf better now than we were in our mid-20s, just because the boards are better, we've got more knowledge, and we've kept our bodies good. Yeah. So we've had no serious accidents, so that's just lucky. Obviously head knocks and all that kind of stuff, but nothing like haven't broken any major bones, like I've only broken hands and a few things like that, but not, haven't broken a femur or anything, so some guys obviously are disadvantaged if they have a major injury, but haven't had any major injuries. And then now I've realised I used to always think when I had a niggle, like a niggling hip, or you had to go to the chiropractor, you had to do this, and now you can kind of push through it and move through it. I found that and if it's really serious, obviously go and see a physician, which is good. And you can get a really good massage or just to break that tissue down. But I found now you can move through pain and throughout the whole day, not, everyone thinks, I've got to train for an hour and that's it. So I don't do it. You can do little snacks like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes in the morning, another 10 minutes at lunchtime, another 2 minutes here, and then another 2 minutes, and eventually kind of work through it. I remember when we were working together, you were pretty onto that in the early days. Good diets. I got into my fasting, which is good. Pretty much 2 meals a day. Love the bone broth. I'm doing coffee, obviously black coffee, a little bit of coconut oil. So yeah, that's just all these little hacks that we're learning, just helping along the way, I reckon.
Yeah, but you've got that motivation. You want to keep surfing. You want to keep going to Indo, and that's what.
Yeah,
that's what get you. Okay, I'm not going to have that donut. I'm gonna go to bed early because I want to go and get barreled at Indo.
I know it's such a good motivator.
Yeah,
and it keeps you young. Yeah, it keeps you young and young in the head too. And looking at boards that, still riding short boards. My short board's like a 5.9, and I've got a 5.3 bobby quad that I ride in the wave pool.
Yeah,
so I can still ride short boards. And just having that much, and the boards have got so good now. Just the rockers and the things, all the shapers. And I remember Michael Ho was talking with his son Mason. I saw in an interview that he said, "Oh, Dad, why do you think you're ripping so much now?" And he goes, "The boards." And Michael's doesn't care. He doesn't have Instagram or Facebook. He's just surfing. And I've seen Coco out in the water when she's in Indo or here, and she said, "Yeah, Pop's he's just the proper." So he's not thinking about how he's 60 and he's charging.
Yeah,
he's riding. He's always got new blades and getting tubed out back door and ripping on the backside at Ala Moana and things like that. But yeah, that's the motivation in surfing.
Yeah,
and it's such a fun sport. And I just always say to people, it's a puzzle. Every time you go for a surf, you're trying to work out that puzzle. It doesn't matter if it's 1 foot onshore, or it's 20-foot bobbies, or it's crazy tubes in Indo. You're still trying to figure out how you're going to paddle in, how you're going to get to your feet, how you're going to generate speed. Is it a straight down drop? Is it a knifing drop? Am I got to get my front foot early? All these little things are just come into play from all those years of experience. And you're trying to work out that puzzle. And then it's 1 foot. You just want to go out and do one big turn on a 1-footer and you're happy. So that's what keeps me motivated. Some days, even if it's crap, I'll still go out for 3 waves and I'll get my 3 waves and go to work and train. And I've the training too. I've got rid of the cardio so much. Sort of not really doing the cardio so much now. It's just strength and movement. Because if you do a good movement flow, you can get good cardio from that. Anyway,
exactly. Yeah,
I've got my heart rate monitor, and you're actually getting flexy. Whereas you don't want to get stiff, and then just doing the right strength training. So you look at all the surfers now; it's all legs, hardly any upper body, only back and legs. You don't want any chest, and you don't want to overload the shoulders as well in your. The rotator cuff exercises are really good. So light weights on the shoulders, nothing heavy. So you can still get that mobility in your paddle, and you got the power through your back for your paddle. So a lot of the strength training is like just Olympic rings, pull-ups, maybe some skin the cat, dumbbell pull-ups as well off the bench, all that kind of stuff, and then a lot of obviously squats with a barbell, goblet squats, front squats, split squats, all that kind of stuff is super important, I reckon. So you're getting that mobility and doing the weights and getting that connection and feeling when you're doing the weight, not just doing it for the sake of it, like doing those reps and really thinking about that rep and just getting your body in those positions that you could do in the water on land. So when you go out there, like a martial artist, you're ready to go. You've drilled it so many times it becomes second nature.
Yeah. No, strength training's so good. It's also for like strength training it increases your body awareness actually, and just maintains your bone density, and it's so helpful. Yeah. And if you're doing it, do upper body, lower body, doesn't get any more hard of a cardio workout than doing like a strength training circuit if you want to, get the heart rate up.
What sort of stuff are you doing these days, like in your regime?
Oh man, I had ACL surgery in my early 20s, and it's now almost, bone on bone basically. So a lot of my training is just keeping on top of that. Like slow moving, heavy stuff with, have you seen the knees over toes guy?
Yeah, he's awesome. Hey,
backwards walking on the treadmill and just following some of his stuff, just to keep the legs strong. Because it's interesting because they say it's bone on bone, right? And it can get like that, but your cartilage is gone. Your cartilage doesn't really come back, but there is scar tissue forms where the cartilage was. As long as that scar tissue is there, you're fine. If you do too much stuff and that scar tissue wears away, so if you do too much volume and you don't allow that scar tissue to heal and reform and the fluids to come back, then it can be bone on bone. You get a real sore joint. But so now, as long as I keep the volume of what I'm doing on the knee, it's fine.
That's cool.
You can actually
how many reps?
I would just sort of more like 6 reps, only a couple of sets. But because I've got a history of strength training, I know the form. I'm strong. I know what to do. But backwards walking on the treadmill and lots of balance work as well, because it's actually those small little twitching movements in the joint that do the most damage. So if your balance is on point and your joint is nice and stable, then that's one of the big things as well. So keeping the balance, like standing on one leg with your eyes closed, little things like that.
Yeah, I do. I love the pendulum jumps with the pendulum jump. So it's a one-legged jump.
Yeah.
And I do that with my eyes closed as well.
Yeah.
When I coach a lot of the athletes as well, like before they're competing, like I'll say, like I'll do 5 jumps, eyes open, and then the last 5 closed. And it helps with that body awareness, for late drops and big drops out of the lip and being aware of where their body is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I even did it when I cracked my head, just check if I had concussion. I was like, yes, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor, but if you can jump one-legged with your eyes closed, you pretty much, and you're fine. You don't have concussion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I do a bit of sprinting as well. Sprinting's really good for you, so I do a bit of that, and I still do like the body weight gymnastic style strength training as well. Still doing that. Following a guy called Naudi. Oh man, I can't even pronounce his name. Naudi Orgula. I can't remember how to pronounce it, but it's functional performance training. He's doing a lot of really unique stuff. He's worth a follow. He's pretty out there with some of what he says, but he's also got some really interesting tips. A lot of, not necessarily heavy weights, but functional stuff. Just, he's worth a follow.
Awesome. Cool. And
and just keeping on top of the diet and sleep, man. That's like you mentioned, man. Just keeping a clean diet, getting enough sleep, and giving a good balance of rest and stress.
Because life can get stressful, but it's only what you make it, really. But yeah, if you sleep well, if you have a good sleep, mate, you can conquer anything, really. Hey, I find too the shoulders are important, like the rotator cuff muscles important too. If you keep that on top of that, just like maintenance work, like prehab, like light weight, it's like 10% of your body weight.
Mm-hmm.
just getting in all those different angles. Because you can, when those days when you're paddling super hard trying to make that wave where it's hollow, you're going to put a lot of stress on the shoulder joint. And I've seen so many mates, like you got to look at your mates who have had surgeries, you know what I mean? Like it's always shoulders, knees and hips, if you look after those, and spine, pretty much ahead of the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hanging for your shoulders is really good.
Hanging is awesome.
Active and passive hanging. And I mean, I'm lucky. When I was living in the US, I did 3 different DNS courses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember you doing that. Yeah.
And so I do a lot of that sort of rehab style training still, and that's really good for shoulders and core. That helps keep my shoulders in check.
I remember you got injured and I did the Portel course.
Yes.
Remember I think you did your hamstring, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And it was a day before and you said, Matty, can you do this? And I went, I did a whole week with Ido.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he was massive. It was massive on hanging.
Yeah.
And, the rings too.
Yeah.
And I find the rings are better for a surfer too, like doing chin-ups, pull-ups on a ring, because you get that nice you get that movement in the shoulder joint, where it's just a straight bar. You don't really get that movement because we actually reach out and rotate our shoulder as we paddle.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He was an interesting guy, cool guy, full on.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
But I learned a lot. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Are you still doing ice baths?
Still doing that.
Yeah.
And ice baths and sauna. Got an ice bath in the backyard and sauna, which is lucky. And we got 2 at the gym now. We've got 2 saunas and 2 ice baths.
Wow.
So yeah, it's good. Everyone loves them. Yeah, everyone's created a little community there. Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome.
What about, have you looked into light health?
I have seen it. I haven't really done it personally. And it just looks pretty interesting. It's just a matter of time and money, yeah. In our sauna, I do have some infrared, but like not some lighting, but it's not huge. Have you been looking into it?
Well, it's just really interesting. There's this guy Jack Cruz has been on about it for years, but now there's sort of like 20 years. But now there's all these scientific studies coming out proving his theories right about how important sunlight exposure is for health, and how it turns on certain genes, like the POMC gene, and how if you're exposing yourself to too much blue light after the sun's gone down, how that affects blood sugar and circadian rhythms. But if you're getting up and going surfing every day and getting to bed on time,
it's funny.
That's all it is.
How like Huberman and all that, like they say go out and play, gaze at the sun.
Yeah,
and we live on the East Coast here, so every early surf you're like looking into the sun.
Exactly.
Often in the morning, you're blinking, going and different on the West Coast. Yeah, if you're going to bed at the right time, and I try not to look at my phone before I go to bed, so. I just try to banish that, put it away, because, that's a bad habit, isn't it? Just before looking at the screen, trying to look at computers as well. So onto that in that way. You can just get, just basic stuff. Yeah, keeping those circadian rhythms.
Yeah.
Haven't done the glasses or anything like that, like the
blue looking glasses, yeah.
Dave Asprey and whatnot.
Yeah, they get into it a lot. Yeah. They go hardcore on everything.
Yeah. They go hardcore, don't they? I know how much. It's sort of don't you think there's a fine line between how much time you got in the day and?
Oh, exactly. But Dave Asprey, but him and his mates, they're spending a lot of money on. Like Dave Asprey has a goal to live to 120. I think he might have even said 100, 150. But and be healthy and functional at that age. So he's making sure that every day he's doing as much as he can. So those guys are going.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to live that long.
Yeah,
staying sad. You know what I mean? Like you kind of want to just die normally. With
dignity. Yeah,
dignity. Yeah, like you don't have to go. Yeah,
yeah. Because if you're the only one doing it, and like you're still alive and healthy, and your friends are dead, you're like, oh, what was that?
Yeah, I talk about that all the time. Yeah, they're just overboard, and almost it bring a lot of anxiety. I think too, like trying to keep on point. Like you're not actually like they want to get to this goal of being this age, but they're not actually having fun in the present. Like it's like still got to live your life, hey. You got to still have fun with your friends, and like I'm not like there's no way I'm a total monk. Like I still eat really well, but if I'm with friends and family, I'm not going to go. I'm not eating that because I'm this. Like I'll still want to be part of the group. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not going to kill me.
Yeah,
and I want to have a good time with my friends. I'm not going to be that guy that's like, oh no, I don't do that because I want to live till I'm like 150.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm going to. You go to bed at 8 o'clock on Christmas Day because you want to live to 150.
Yeah, it's kind of like counterintuitive, really.
Yeah.
What about if he gets hit by? What if he gets hit by a car?
Exactly.
Exactly. I don't mean that in a bad way. You got to still, and it's funny, like all this grounding. We hardly wear shoes in Oz. You hardly wear shoes when I hang out with you.
Yeah,
I hardly wear shoes. People say, "Oh, Matty, you're wearing shoes today. That's weird." I'm like, "Oh well." I had to go to a meeting
wearing shoes. I hate it.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. All the stuff that's coming out in the latest health stuff for all these guys.
It's what we do anyway.
Especially as surfers, we get early morning sun. We're getting lots of grounding work because we're surfing in the ocean. That's the best way to get your grounding done is in the ocean or walking on the sand and bare feet. We're getting it done anyway. But it's just interesting all these studies coming out and proving.
You can buy these mats. You can buy a grounding mat and walk outside, put your feet on the cold grass. Like the cold sand. Like I've been surfing the wave pool a lot lately, and it's super fun. But you still don't get that feeling of the energy of the ocean. Like, it doesn't matter if you body surf, bodyboard, whatever. If you dive in the ocean for a swim, you always come out feeling amazing, don't you?
Yeah.
Just it's from the negative ion, bro.
Like, that's part of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, part of it. Yeah, and just maybe the soul, the energy of the waves, just being in nature, and it's funny. You can go in the wave pool and you have a good time, but you don't get that buzz of that feeling on your whole body from the natural waves.
Yeah,
and the salt and all that. Yeah.
How much time have you spent in the wave pools?
There's a new one in Sydney now, Urban Surf Sydney, and I every Thursday I teach a fitness class to the staff. I've been doing that for the past 6 weeks. Yep. So I go out every Thursday and I make sure I surf from 4 to 5, and then I run the class at 5:30 to 6:30. So that's pretty cool. Like I'll ride my little 5.3 bobby quad and get about 20 waves. And then we ran a pretty cool course the other week. We did a get ready for your masterclass. It was like an Indo masterclass clinic. So we taught people how to ride left tubes. So we had the expert mode, which is just a barrel. It's pretty cool. You take off, you can do a Rio or just a setup turn and get this nice tube. It's a pretty cool tube. Like the barrel's wider than it is high.
Yeah.
You got to get quite low in the tube, and then it kind of turns the corner a bit like Macaronis. So we did about 30 minutes. I broke down all the best surfers in the world getting tubed on the TV screen. I had 8 participants, and so we broke that down, foot placement for backhand, front side, and then we did movement patterns like mobility patterns to open up people's hips and ankles, because that's pretty much what you need when getting low in tubes and most tube riding. So we did that. We went and surfed for an hour. Everyone got about 12 waves. And then there's an AI. It's crazy. They film this AI called Flow State on the left and the right, but we're only on the left. You come in and it's got all the clips of you. So I got a coach's password. So I went through everyone's clips and wrote down what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong. Yeah, it was rad. And then we had lunch, and then we did apnea training. So then we went into their leisure pool, which is heated because the wave pool's only about 11 degrees at the moment. Celsius. It's quite cold, yeah. The leisure pool 28. So we taught them the science of breath holding. Then we went and did it in the water, and then Shaz did a chat on Indo, what to take in your first aid kit, and reef cuts. Yeah, it was awesome. That was a full day. It was fun.
Oh, rad.
So I did that. Had some fun days with the Surfers Gym crew. We'll book out the pool for 2 hours and surf two different modes. One's tube, the expert mode's a tube, and they got advanced, which is half turns, half tube. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Good fun. And then Isabella Nichols too. She'll fly down and I'll coach her for 2 days before an event. So before Huntington, we tested out two of the boards. See what, she got two brand new boards of DHD. And then, she had more, but she had these two boards that she thought were going to be the ones, and they were. So pretty cool to work that out. Yeah, we did some work with Paul Bolito. So it's a good coaching tool.
Yeah.
Because you guarantee getting one left and right. So we'll book a session on the right and the left, and you're right there that she can come in and break it down each wave and go through some foot placement, hand placement stuff, where to place the board on the wave and back out there. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And you got all the footage I'll film as well, and also got the AI flow state.
Oh, right. It's like the driving range for surfers.
Yeah, it is. It's a full driving range. So keeps you fit too. Like it's a full leg workout because the wave is a bit weaker. So you got to stay right in the pocket and push real hard with your feet and your hips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, it's good fun. I feel like, especially in the tube mode, every time I'm just on the tube mode, I feel like a 15-year-old kid again. Like, you're guaranteed a barrel, you're guaranteed 15 to 20 barrels that afternoon.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, so you're still doing...
I've done a good...
Are you still taking people to Macaronis as well?
Yeah, we've got one coming up. Next February, March 2025. Jazz is doing the movement, and I'm doing the surfing.
Rad.
Yeah, we've got two, and I got a Gus and Ari who help us as well as coaching. They're awesome guys and good coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rad. Yeah, so we basically surf from 6 a.m. till 11:30, and there's two filmers there, so the filmers get all the footage, and then we break down the footage at 1 o'clock for about an hour, and then we'll go surfing again. And then sometimes if the waves are small, we'll do apnea training in the pool. So that's like a week, 7-day classes, 7-day clinics, I should say. And then some people do 2 weeks. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it's super fun. And we go to Thunders as well, because if Mac is small, it's always 2 foot bigger up there. So yeah, it's good fun. Yeah, it's an awesome clinic. Because it's such a mechanical wave, Macca's, from 1 foot to 6 foot. Such a rippable wave, just in the pocket. You can work on people's techniques, and you see people improve real quick because they've got a running wall. It's not like it's been great here, but sometimes you can just get closed out if it's a south swell. You just got, the people can only do one turn if that. Obviously, if it's perfect northeast swells here, great. All the beaches are lining up. Macca's is unbelievable. You can do 4 turns, so you can really work on people's, how they sort of start the wave, speed generation, where they do their bottom turn, their top turn, foot placement, upper body rotation. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's good fun. Yeah.
All right.
That's been it.
Yeah. They all filled up?
Not yet. No, I think there's still some spots left. Yeah, so they're doing Macaronis, they're doing the marketing right now for next year. But yeah, we got some good numbers this year. I think next year is going to be even better. Yeah, so it's a good gig. Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah.
And, good bonding with people. Everyone's there to learn and have a good time.
I'll put a link to details about that in the show notes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You guys had a big swell there a few days ago.
We had last week. We had a massive swell Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Only bummer had really strong southerly winds. So me and the captain towed Macaha and Northy Bommy in the mornings when it was southwest, and then the wind just came up and blew it out. The Deadman's was on. Yeah, we got to surf that on our own. Deadman's was pumping. Have a look at that.
I saw the footage, some of it.
But there wasn't many people making them, hey.
Look pretty gnarly.
If you have a look at This Is Living by Carl Lockman, he flew all the way over for it.
Oh wow!
He does that blog, and he didn't even make a wave, like a proper big one. He didn't make one wave. He broke his board, got smashed. He was going, "Wow, this wave's gnarly," because it's kind of like the heavy take. Then it's got a step.
Yeah,
and if it doesn't open up, it just collapses on you.
Yeah,
and you don't know when you're paddling in if it's going to be a good one or not. This one guy called Sam Jones got a cracker. Like he actually made a really good one of Billy Langers. But the rest of the crew, yeah, pretty much got smashed. There was a lot of carnage. Stu Callagher did a big airdrop, dislocated his elbow joint.
Oh.
He got smashed. I know. He just airdropped and then went back over the fall, popped his elbow. Yeah, I'm kind of done with that wave. I know. Pretty gnarly backside. You're looking for an injury. And it's crowded now. Like I have to surf it on my own with 4 or 5 people. Well, now everyone's out there trying to get their photo taken or their clip, which is cool. They're all younger. And there'll be 30, 40 people out on a semi-closed out reef that's 10 to 12 foot. So we can get the jet ski and go off Longy off Macaronis and stuff on our own.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we can check out Macaronis, go Macaronis, German Banks, Northie Bommy, cruise around. Me and the captain, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be ready to go for dead man's. Like I've snapped boards out there. I've had 30 sea urchins at my footy out there once. I just went over the falls and landed feet first, and that was a pretty gnarly injury. Went to hospital. Like I couldn't walk, so I had to paddle back to North Stain, back to the first school, and drove up to hospital, and they couldn't even they left about 4 in there.
Oh.
And then three stayed in there for about 3 months. And then when I popped out about that big, 3 months later when I went snowboarding. Oh, gnarly. No, I remember Barton Lynch actually had to go to surgery with surgeons out there. Scott Remain broke his back about 4 years ago out there. Captain's broke his MCL, PCL. Chase Coppy broke his ribs. Yeah, that's a good way to get injured. But if you're a young buck and you want to charge, go for it.
Mm. Well, you gotta pay to play sometimes.
Yeah. The risk out there sort of outweighs the reward. But yeah, there's some good surfing going on. Some of the young guys from Freshie, like Sol Grueling, Lex O'Connor, some of the young dudes are like 18-year-olds just charging it and making barrels too. So, but this last swell was pretty wonky. But we had a real good swell a week before that, like a east-northeast swell. So like Narrabeen was off its base, South Narra. We had like northwest winds and 8-foot barrels. And that was pretty fun. So yeah, that was a more user friendly, and area was pumping North Ave, or the whole east coast. Yeah, on the Sydney northern beaches was going off. So yeah, that went for 3 days. So we've had a really good. Yeah, last year was a pretty bad winter. Yeah, for here for Sydney. And this year, the sandbanks are good because we had that big swell. But yeah, pretty stoked. What about yourself? Any waves your way?
Some, not too many. We've had a shit winter, actually. We've had heaps of... Usually you get the southerly swells here where I'm staying at the moment, but just been heaps of northeast swells of low period for some reason, almost like summer. Had weird weather patterns here. Weird. The south swells that come through have heaps of west in them, so they just go straight past. I don't know.
And the baits are good?
There's points and river bars around here, so we just need a decent high long period swell, and it turns on. But still go surfing, but and get waves, and had a great summer with the kids.
Yeah, awesome.
But the winter's average winter here,
and it's pretty crazy. We've actually got the water's cold, like it's 14 degrees.
Yeah, it's cold.
Sometimes it'll be 20 in winter usually, but this year it's cold. Yeah. Huh. But the good, it's sort of every morning pretty much offshore, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
With this cold water. Been lucky. Yeah.
Random. The water here is warmer than usual. I can still go surfing in a 2-3 at the moment.
No way.
Yeah, the water's so warm here. It's just all these east and northeast flow. It's keeping the water warm.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, the wave pool actually, the concrete holds the cold.
Oh yeah, I bet.
The wave pool's about 11.
That's cool. 11. That's 4-3 booties business.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't wear booties, but the guys wearing gloves and hoods, and just make sure you paddle out real quick just to keep yourself warm. But yeah, last year we went to Mexico, Gavin and I.
Yeah.
So that was cool. But this year I'm just going to hang back. I've been building this app called the Surface Compass. So I want to get that out by the 1st of September, hopefully. So I've been doing that for a year. So just breaking down all the best surfers in the world, women and men, takeoffs, paddling bottom turn, top turns, cuttings, airs, tubes, and then throwing in movement patterns that will help those maneuvers, and then breath work and mindset. Yeah, so that's been a fun little project.
Oh, rad.
So, yeah, I've been working on that. I was helping with the graphics and Joel Barker with all the edit. So, yeah, that's keeping me busy. It's like, like you've done a lot of projects and you just want to get it done.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd want to do it right, but we probably could have had it done in May, but I want to do it perfect. So, hopefully we can get it out by. Yeah, so I got like Ethan Ewing, Mick Fanning, Kelly Slater, Jeff Gilmore, Aaron Brooks, Isabella Nichols, Parker.
Cool. Look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, man. So that's keeping me busy.
Yeah.
And all the other stuff, the surf school and the surfer gym.
And all the barrels.
All the barrels.
Oh, sweet. You have to let us know when it's released, and I'll spread the word.
Yeah, for sure. That'll be awesome. Yeah. But yeah, you can't beat a barrel, can you? I always say to people, once you get tubes, you're done. You won't be able to hold a relationship or a job. And
yeah, it's addictive.
Yeah.
Healthy addiction, though. It's on my list. I'll probably sit down with the boys this evening and we'll watch the replays and stuff.
Yeah, one of the local boys did really well. So, yeah, it's pretty good result. You got to check it out. Yeah, it was actually awesome spectacle. How was did you see the big day?
Yeah. Yep. No, I watched that.
Olympics with Jalchenko, Ramsey, Booker. Don't you reckon they were charging harder than the WSL because there was more on the line, like, medals and like they always charge in the WSL out chopes. They go hard as, but some of the nailing, some of the wipeouts were heavy, weren't they? Like that.
Yeah, it also
Conor O'Leary.
They also like they had different camera angles too to the WSL. I don't know if they had even more expensive cameras to it. Just looked a bit different, like just a higher level production as well. I think that helped. But certainly in Medina, it just always everything Medina does just looks effortless, doesn't it? It's
that good, isn't he? Yeah. He's amazing. Yeah, he's they're Ethan Ewing. Yeah, they're solid as those guys. But it was good seeing the other guy from Peru. Yeah, it's Carrera, was it? Yeah, like just seeing the other countries. That's pretty good, isn't it? About the Olympics, like get a lot more diversity. Like, I mean, I love the WSL, but especially when they do the cut. After the cut, there's just too much familiar. Everyone's too familiar. You're going, I've seen this heat before, even though it's in a different location. But it's good when you get wild cards and that variety, and you just think, I've seen another angle of surfing, and you're like, wow, this guy's insane.
All right, Matt. Hey, it's just gone 3:00. I better go and I've got to do school pickup now. But thanks for doing the show again. I really appreciate it.
Awesome, mate. Awesome, brother. Take it easy.
Good to catch up.
Have a good one. Hopefully see you when you come to Sydney.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. We'll be over there at some point. Keep me in the loop. Yeah, keep me in the loop with the app.
Dope. Yeah, sweet. Excellent. That'll be cool.
Awesome,
mate.
Thank you for tuning into the Surf Mastery podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. Also, the best way that you can help support and grow the show is to subscribe, rate and review on whatever app you're using, be it Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course we are now on YouTube, so you can watch the video version of this podcast on YouTube. Be sure to check that out. Also go to surfmastery.com for more surfing tips via the blog. You can also book in a personal online surf coaching session with me. Also at surfmastery.com there are 2 free downloadable PDFs, one with the 5 best tips from this show and the 5 best exercises to improve your surfing. So go to surfmastery.com. On the homepage there you'll see them. Until next time, keep surfing.